Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of Varsity Aces Live. I'm your host, Sean Farrell, sportswriter for The Record and NorthJersey.com. Tonight, we've got a great show to preview the championship week in high school hockey. I'm joined by two guests from Don Bosco, the head coach, and the greatest scorer of all time in Ironman history, Greg Toskos, and also from Don Bosco on defense, Zach Hammond. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us from the pasta party. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, Sean, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I think we're doing pretty good tonight. Excited for tomorrow.
Well, congratulations on the win. How does the pasta taste after beating Bergen Catholic?
Well, Lepore's Italian Market, Don Bosco alum Giancarlo Lepore does an outstanding job. So food tastes exceptionally good. The win tastes even better, I'd say.
Yep.
Now, Greg, you've had to overcome a lot this season with shutdowns and players making sacrifices. What does it feel like just to get to this point where you can play for a championship? How proud are you of this team?
Yeah, listen, I think I talked about this to our guys in the beginning of the year, and it was just take whatever we're able to get. And that might have been a practice, that might have been 3 practices, that might have been a game, it might have been 10 games. We've been fortunate to get almost all of our games in. In fact, snow really caused the most havoc for this team, even though we were shut down earlier this year for 2 weeks. We were still on track to get all 15 eligible games in. And like I said, the snow got us. But listen, everybody dealt with the same stuff. So for us, even though the season's shorter, it absolutely still feels like it's the exact same thing that we would normally go to. The end of the season feels like the end of the season felt last year and the year before, right?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's really changed is our Boston trip. I think that's everything else. It's a little shorter and started a month later. But other than that, I feel like it's
like the end is kind of normal. Yeah.
The same thing.
Has it been challenging as a coach? How have you managed to keep them on the right track?
Yeah, the challenges are the outside distractions, right? The challenges are less practices. That's a huge challenge because we're getting a lot of games in on practice days that normally would be practice days. That's one. The challenges, again, from the outside are if other teams had to cancel and trying to find makeup games. In this world where everybody plays travel hockey and things like that started to pick up towards the end of the year where, those organizations want to get games in as well. So those are some of the challenges that we had. But in the end, our guys are here. I will say this, one of the best things about Don Bosco is the kids have been in school and the school's been open. And, we've been battling like everybody else to get through every day and every week. But as an alum and as a parent, I'm extremely proud of the fact that we've been able to get our kids in school every day to compete academically and then give them to me and hand them off to me on the ice.
And Zach, I'm sure it was challenging. You play one game this season and then get shut down for 2 weeks. What did you guys do during that time? How did you stay ready so that you could be competitive once you got back on the ice?
Yeah, so we played one and then we got shut down. I think we were still going to club and we were still on the ice with most of our club teams. It was kind of just like a 2-week break, and then once we got back, everyone knew we had to come back and be better than we were before. We were still we had guys who were playing Xbox with each other throughout it. We were all we were just doing whatever we can do to keep in touch without being with each other.
And Greg, on the ice, what makes this a special group? Why do they mesh so well?
Well, these guys are really good. I mean, look, first of all, the group has been together for a while. Even though we have a lot of new faces, a lot of these kids have been around the program. They're younger brothers of older guys. That's something that kind of leads into the culture. And for us, the way this program is built, it's all about culture. It's all about bringing in great kids first. And they happen to be spectacular hockey players or great hockey players or good hockey players. But when you put them in the right culture, which is what I hope that you guys feel, they want to be here. They want to play hockey for Don Bosco. They want to do, wear the jacket that Zach's wearing and things like that. And that's a great way to see these guys pull it together in a short period of time.
And earlier this season, you lost to Bergen Catholic in the regular season match, and then you come out yesterday and play a perfect game. What's different about the team now versus where you were a month ago?
Yeah, again, I kind of say that we've been able to get together a little bit more towards the end of the season, right? I mean, you think about CBA game early in the season, and even Gloucester and even Bergen. We were coming off of our 2 weeks of quarantine where we had no practice or anything. We played CBA that Sunday night. We were off for 2 weeks, no practice. But you know what? Like I started in the beginning, I said, just get what we can get in. And same thing with Bergen Catholic. We only played them 5 or 6 days after the CBA game. And again, we didn't even have any practices playing against Bergen Catholic. So for us, it was do what we can do to get the games in. Were we disappointed we tied that game and lost to Bergen Catholic? We're always disappointed when we lose to Bergen, right? But after getting in a little bit more of a rhythm, which this team was able to do, that helped yesterday. And quite honestly, playing a team like Delbarton last week, the way we played, because forget about their record, they're an outstanding hockey team. The program is a great program, but the team itself is not reflective of the way that Delbarton team played. Would you agree with me on that?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been one of the 2 harder games we've played all season, back to back.
Back to back. And I think the way we handled that, going down a goal on the road, going down a goal in the quarterfinal of the playoff game, these guys, they handled the adversity flawlessly and performed in a game that was physical in a good way, in a clean way. Physical, fast-paced.
I mean, we weren't down for long. We went down,
No,
and everyone was like
bang, bang.
We picked it up on the bench, and it was like, let's just get it back, and then let's take the lead, and let's go home, get out of here and play next week.
Yeah.
And that was where it was.
And Zach, when did you start playing hockey? How did you get involved?
I'm sorry.
He said, how'd you get involved in hockey? Yeah.
Playing hockey. I started skating when I was 2, and then I started playing hockey when I was 5, and then pretty much loved it since there and haven't stopped. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I've loved the sport.
Have you always played on defense or ever anywhere else?
So I grew up playing forward until I was probably 8 or 9, and then I've been playing defense ever since. I did play. My freshman year, I played defense at Bosco, and then sophomore year, I played forward, and then junior year, I came back to defense, and this year I'm also on defense.
And is there an NHL player you look up to or model yourself after?
An NHL player. I actually really love Charlie McAvoy as a defenseman. He's just one of those guys, he just plays on both sides of the ice, and I'm also a Bruins fan, so it might be slightly biased, but he's one of those guys, whenever he's out there, I can't get my eyes off the TV.
And I noticed you have the mohawk, and I'm told to ask, how did that start? Greg, do you want to weigh in here?
Yeah, so when Zach was a freshman, Zach, we were going to the state tournament game, and Zach had said, hey, Coach, am I going to be in the lineup? And he, as a freshman, he played a bunch of games, and really, I got to tell you, Coach Foy and I looked at him and we're like, this is the quintessential Bosco guy. This is exactly the guy that we want in this program. He looked at us and goes, because if I'm not going to play, I'm just going to get a mohawk for the team so they just feel ready to go for this game. So as a freshman, he went and just decided to get only guy on the team decided to go get a mohawk. So fast forward, 4 years later, he's a senior captain for us. And before the quarterfinal game against Delbarton, coming off the last regular season game when we beat them, he came in. He said, "Coach, we win tonight. I'm going to let a freshman shave my head right into a mohawk." And
that's pretty much what happened.
So he started his career at Don Bosco, making a state playoff run by getting a mohawk, and he finished his career, making a state playoff run by getting a mohawk.
And Zach, I'm afraid. What were your parents' reactions when they found out about the haircut?
So it's actually funny. My freshman year when I did it, my dad, it was supposed to be a mullet, and then I was like, mohawk. Let's just go mohawk. So I get home I want a mohawk, and he just shaved my head and gave me a mohawk. He loved it. This school, on the other hand, didn't. They were like, that's way out of dress code. You're gonna have to shave it. So I ended up having to shave my head right after state. So and then my parents, I came home with it, and my mom was like, I love the mohawk, but it might be a little on the uglier side. And but she loves it. My dad loves it. They wake up every morning, they come out and they're rubbing my head like this. So I like to think that they like it. I like to hope they like it.
And Greg, what does Zach bring to the team? How would you describe him as a defenseman?
Well, first and foremost, experience, right? The fact that he's been in these big games, so there's nerves of steel, that calmness that comes, and look, he's a senior, right? He's physically bigger and stronger than a lot of guys. skates extremely well, sees the ice real well. I kind of look at his play. I wouldn't say Charlie McAvoy. I'd say more of a Scott Stevens type guy. But
I just like Charlie McAvoy.
but I'd say a guy that can kill penalties, can play offensively, defensively. He's put up some great points this year for us on the offensive side. Done a tremendous job killing penalties for us. So as a senior captain, I mean, he's brought exactly what I would want all of our guys to bring, and really for our younger guys, he's provided leadership. It's that culture that I talk about bringing in. When Zach was a freshman, I mean, you can comment on this, but every senior treated you as if you were a senior.
I mean, yeah, I still remember, I have a great story. I actually don't even know if I ever told you this, but I was getting dressed. It was my first game. Mickey was sitting right across from me in the locker room, and I look down, I see his second lace on his skate. He doesn't put it in. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I just noticed it. He might have not even realized. I don't know. I noticed it. So I was like, you know what? I undid my top lace. My second lace did the top lace. And I still, to this day, I don't do the second to top lace. No idea why. But it was just one of those things. I saw Mickey do it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he skates faster from it. I don't know. But I did my laces yesterday before the game. Yeah. And won't do the second lace. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest testaments to, the senior captains. And just, we're even me, Seti, and Clem, we got to remember that when we go through there's younger guys who are coming in either next year and even this year who are looking up to you. And
they look up to you, and the way you guys treat them or the way that the senior guys treated you. And I mean, that's Sean, that's the culture, right? That's what you want. It doesn't matter if it's I mentioned this today to somebody. It doesn't matter what kind of quote grade you're in, whether you're a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, or senior. My job is to put the team together, do whatever I can to put the team together. And these guys' job is to kind of have that culture together and build it what we say is in the locker room. Obviously, this year is a different year, and it's tough that they can't use all in the lobby or the parking lot, right? whatever you do to get dressed. But even in the parking lot, they're still having fun together and playing music, and it's not one of those, okay, those are the upperclassmen and these are the underclassmen, and this is my spot on the team, and this is your spot. It's none of that. This is what you want when you use the word team, and it's kind of what's got us back year after year after year to compete for championships.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we've been privileged enough for the past 4 years that we've had a team where everyone was brothers. I mean, every year, I've never been look at that guy. It's just every year is always, it's a big puzzle, and every year it connects.
Yeah.
So.
And Zach, you have to feel very good about one of the best teams in the state in Bergen Catholic. How much confidence is that going into the final?
I think we went into the game yesterday, and we just all we wanted was to do was to win, and I mean we won. So going into tomorrow, I think that we just, it's like any other game, it's a state championship. We know that a lot of the rookies, younger guys, some of them have nerves. I sent a text out last night. I was I've lost 2 of these, and I've won 1, and winning them's a lot more fun than losing them. So if you have anything in your tank by the end of the game, and everyone knows they got to leave everything out there. I mean, it's the seniors' last games. It's the freshmen's first state championship. And for them, it's a pretty cool experience to be able to go out there and be I played in the first state championship, my first ever high school hockey season. So I think where everyone's kind of just has their head on straight, and they just, we got to win this game, and then we can celebrate. So.
And you're playing in front of a pretty experienced goalie in Kevin Rice. How much confidence does that give you as a defenseman to know that he has your back if you want to take a chance?
I love Rosie, and I think he's the best. When I'm on defense and shot goes, I'm Rosie's got it. I'll block the shot, but if that goes around me, I know Rosie has it. So that's kind of, everyone's confident in Rosie. I mean, he came downstairs and we opened up a spot on the couch for him. So, everyone loves Rosie. He'll be fine tomorrow. We're excited.
And Greg, your team has been full of sophomores who've made a big impact. How unusual is it to see players that young be leaders for a team like Don Bosco?
Yeah, it's very unusual. Although year after year after year, we have had young players. I mean, again, Zach was a freshman, and his class was outstanding. As
7 freshmen.
Yeah, 7 freshmen that played, right? So, it's not the F in freshman or the sophomore. It's can you play, right? The sophomore class, not just at Don Bosco, but across the state, is really talented class. They just are. It's, whatever, parents were doing way back when, that birth year is just a talented birth year. We're fortunate and really lucky to have a lot of them that decided to come to Don Bosco.
And you've played in Gordon finals before,
Yeah.
both of you, I guess. Does this one feel differently because there's no state tournament? Does it feel, more important?
Oh, I'd say, I mean, it feels more important. There's no doubt about
100%.
that.
I mean, like, usually when you're playing in Gordon Championship, like, if you lose, you have 4 more games. Like, right now, this is our last. We're done. Like, you know what I mean? Win or lose, this is our last hockey game as this group, and I think everyone knows that. And I think this is pretty important to all of us.
And Zach, what would it mean if you could finish your career as a Gordon champion after all you've been through this year?
It would be awesome. I mean, after this season, as hectic as it's been probably one of the best seasons that I've had to play with Bosco, and it'd tie it all together. It'd be the perfect knot, and I think everyone's on the same page, and we're just ready to play hockey tomorrow.
And Coach, I heard there was some big alumni news. Can you tell us who just committed where?
Yeah, sure. So former senior captain TJ Schweigert, who was a member of our 2019 Gordon Cup Championship and our state championship, committed to UMass Lowell earlier today. In fact, TJ called me while I was here at the pasta party to thank me, but really thank the program for what it did to help him get to where he is today. He's going to a great program, a Division I Hockey East program. There's a young man, Matt Brown, playing there who spent time at Don Bosco playing, and so we have a little connection there, which is great. We're really excited for TJ and looking forward to watching him and our other guys that are out there, obviously playing all over in college hockey. It's fun to watch these guys play.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. As a reminder for our viewers, Don Bosco is playing in the Gordon Cup final tomorrow night at 7 p.m. against Gloucester Catholic at Cody Arena. That'll do it on Varsity Aces Live. Again, thank you to our guests from Don Bosco. Thank you for watching tonight. Make sure to follow Varsity Aces on Twitter for live updates from all the action on the ice. And as a reminder, besides Don Bosco, Glen Rock and Frisch are also playing for conference titles tomorrow night. The Ice Vault tournament kicks off tomorrow with the final on Friday. Once again, my name is Sean Farrell. Thank you for watching tonight. You stay classy, North Jersey.